What up, guys? Your boy Quake and Papoose, man. Papoose is back to talking on, interviews and talking about hit records, something that he doesn't know anything about. And this is the funniest conversation because it's on Vlad, and Vlad gives him the most softball questions and gives him really no pushback, or he just doesn't do any fact checking of what Papoose says. And it's just a funny conversation. Papoose stopped by Vlad TV and did an interview, of course, talking about 50 Cent, because that's the only interesting thing that Papoose has in his career right now is the person he's dating, which is Clarissa Shields. Shout out to her. She's doing great with the boxing. And, him talking about 50 and making a diss record about 50. That's the only two things he's got going on right now. So, of course, Vlad asks him about the 50 Cent stuff. And he says something very funny in it, because this is the last person to be talking about who had a hit record, who's the last person to have a hit, so on and so forth. So let's break down what Papoose said in this clip.
Okay, you pointed out that he said, I don't have a hit or whatever, right? Right? You brought that up. You mentioned that, right? Okay, So that gives me the right to respond to that comment, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I gotta do it like this, Vlad, because nowadays this internet shit is weird. So they just make it seem like I'm saying what I'm about to say out of nowhere. I'm responding to this hating ass nigga, to what he said, right? Two things I want to say. When he said that, I said to myself, I said, damn, this nigga Ben fell off a long time ago. Why he talking about a hit record for? That was just my natural instinct kicking in, right? When he said it, I said, I know it's been a long time since this nigga been hot on a musical level. Let me see how long it was.
First, Papoose, your natural instinct is wrong. Please check it and make sure that you know what your natural instinct is saying, because it's totally wrong.
So I did what people do nowadays, right? I Googled it. When was the last time 50 Cent had a hit record? Because he said it about me. I'm doing my fact check. It said 2005. Vlad, it's 2026.
Second, the way you did the Google thing is very boomer of you, and it shows your age, but it was funny. So salute to you for that, for making me laugh.
So you mean to tell me you disrespect an MC, because I consider myself an MC, like me, and when I respond to you, your leg to stand on is a hit record that you haven't had since 2005? That's what you think makes you better than me? I disagree. Oh, well, and the other thing was this. This was very funny to me, very strange to me.
Go ahead.
Because he always been a hater, man. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of like situations like this, because when you know somebody's been secretly hating on you for a long time, and it finally comes out, and they get to say the hating ass shit that they've been saying behind closed doors and moving little weird chess pieces and shit, you get to see it come out. But what was very interesting was when he said, yo, he hasn't had a hit, right? And then in the same breath, the nigga quoted one of my biggest hits. Oh yeah, you know your girl was bucket naked. That was one of the biggest songs I had. Was killing it in the clubs, all over the radio. You know what I'm saying? Doing amazing.
Third, you are wrong. The last time 50 Cent had a hit record was not 2005. That was the last time 50 Cent had a #1 hit record as a lead artist. So there's a huge difference between a hit record and a #1 hit record. So let's go over the actual official definition of a hit record. Nobody's opinion of what a hit is, just the pure definition. Because with opinions, everybody can add in their little own mix to it and say how they feel about certain songs. And to some people, certain songs are hits. To some people, certain songs aren't. But let's just go over the official definition according to the music industry. So this is the official definition. A hit song is generally defined as a single that reaches the top 40 of a major music chart, such as the Billboard Hot 100 in the US or the UK singles chart. That is the official definition. So if you reach number 40 in the Billboard Hot 100, you have officially, as a definition, a hit record. And 2005 wasn't the last time 50 ever reached top 40. So Papoose, you are wrong. You're completely wrong. So your natural instinct is wrong. Let's go over when the last time 50 actually reached top 40 on the charts as a lead artist. And that was in 2012 with this song, My Life, featuring Eminem and Adam Levine. That song reached number 27 on the charts on December 2012. So the last time 50 Cent had a hit record as a lead artist on the charts was 2012. So there you go. He's wrong. It wasn't 2005. Now, the last time 50 had a hit record in the top 40 as an artist featured on someone's song was Pop Smoke's The Woo. And this song charted at number 11 in July of 2020. So the last time he was actually on a song that was a hit was in 2020. The funniest thing about all this is Papoose has never had a hit. So him talking about 50's last time he had a hit makes no sense at all. How are you going to make fun of somebody for having it? First off, being wrong and saying 2005. And then you've never had a song that ever was a hit. So how can you speak on that? And here's the funny thing. So the only time, actually, not even the last time, the only time this guy has ever touched the Billboard Hot 100 ever in his career is with the song Crowded. And it's not even his song. It's Jenny Ortega's song featuring Papoose. And this charted at number 93 in 2006. So it didn't touch the top 40. He's never been involved in a hit record, ever. The funny thing is he mentioned his quote-unquote hit record. And this was a song he released in 2010. And this song is called Bucket Naked. He says this was the last time he had a hit and that it was all over the clubs and so on and so forth. I checked this song on YouTube just to see, what is this record? I never heard of it in my life. The song has 34,000 views on YouTube with him as a solo artist on there. The remix with Remy Ma has way more views. It's like at 200,000. So Remy Ma had to jump on this record to give you somewhat of a boost because nobody was checking for it with you solo. And then you go on streams, and this song is at 227,000 streams on Spotify. That's what Papoose, in his eyes, says is a hit record. That's the funny part about this, is he says that's a hit for him. It's 227,000 views. But 50, it's 2005 is the last time he had a hit. On 50, listen, this is the funny thing. So you go to 50's, songs that are streamed on Spotify. I went down just to see where is one of his songs at 227,000 streams. Let's just see where that's at. So I looked at a song. I was like, okay, which one has 227,000 streams or close to it? My Gun Go Off, which is the intro song to his Curtis album. That's got 246,000 streams. That's just a record on his album. It's just like a random track on his album. That's the funny part so I guess 50's My Gun Go Off record is a hit record because if Papoose puts that Bucket Naked record as a hit, then I guess My Gun Go Off the Curtis album is a hit. What's funny is Baby by Me, the acapella with no beat on it, just 50 doing the acapella, has more streams than that record. And that's a song that was a hit in 2009. So once again, you're wrong. The years are just completely wrong. But, this is the problem with Papoose and his diss record. It doesn't have facts in it. It's just trying to clown somebody. And Vlad, unfortunately, he didn't push back on that. He should have said, listen, 50 has hits. The definition of a hit is a top 40 record. Get your opinions out of it, right? Because I could say, in my opinion, I think the last time 50 had a hit was with I'm the Man and Big Rich Town, which was in 2015, 2016. That was the last time, to me, 50 had a hit. And those songs, what I call, are sleeper hits, where as the years go on, those songs start to do better. Because I'm the Man went double platinum. Big Rich Town, I think, is gold. And those records, just as the years have gone on, have streamed and have done numbers. Like I'm the Man's at almost 400 million views on YouTube. Big Rich Town is over 100 million, I believe. So those are sleeper hits that took a while for people to kind of catch on to. But with Papoose, there is none of that. There is no sleeper hit. Bucket Naked isn't a song that, when it got dropped, as the years have gone on. If that was a hit, a sleeper hit, as the years have gone on, that would have done better in streams and numbers. We probably would have saw that at 10 million, 20 million, 30 million streams, For Papoose, that would have been good. But it's not even at that. It's at 227,000. So it's not a sleeper hit. It wasn't a hit when it came out. So him referencing that as a hit, but then dismissing anything that 50's ever done as hits is hilarious to me. So take opinions out of it. The definition is the top 40. That's when you have a hit record. And 50's hit that last time as a lead artist in 2012 and as a featured artist in 2020. Papoose has never hit that. Nowhere on any chart. It's funny just because Bucket Naked isn't that big of a record, man. He's when this record was huge, nobody knows that song. I'm telling you, Papoose, nobody knows that song outside of your little borough in New York, probably. And that's it. A hit is a global, massive, a top 40. That's a hit. because top 40 means you've crushed every market, from pop to rap and hip hop to whatever radio, urban radio to whatever. You've crushed all those markets and you've broken through all those markets. That's why a top 40 is considered a hit. And Bucket Naked never did that. You never charted with that song anywhere. So if that's a hit to you, this just further proves the gap between 50 and Papoose. 50 got, listen, when 50 dropped My Life and it went to only number 27, people called that a flop for 50 because his standard is so high when it comes to hits that if Papoose hit number 27, that would be a massive hit. Bro, Papoose would have been out of here. People have been like, he got a hit record, everybody loves it, so on and so forth. But he never touched those numbers ever in his life. And here's another challenge for you, Papoose. If you can prove to me that Bucket Naked was actually a hit record and hit top 40 on any chart you can think of, besides one that you made up randomly, I want it fact proven with like a source of a radio station that actually pushed that record. One radio station, doesn't even have to be worldwide or in America or, just maybe in your local borough of New York. Just prove to me that that Bucket Naked record hit a top 40 chart anywhere. And I will promote your music for a whole year for free. So this is the second challenge. The first challenge I gave you was in my previous video where I said, hey, if you can prove to me you generated 70 million views in a month, I'll promote your music for free. We can compare numbers of who generated what in terms of views. Never accepted that challenge. I heard you saw it, but just saw your own numbers and decided not to do it. So here's the second challenge. Prove to me that Bucket Naked was a top 40 hit. Prove to me that's a hit record. Not because it's your opinion that it's a hit. I want the factual definition of a hit. Because that's what matters here. I don't care about people's opinions of what they think about things. And everybody has opinions. I have an opinion. You have an opinion. Everybody has an opinion. But let's look at the actual definition, the fact of what a hit is in the music industry. That's something you can't debate. So prove to me that it hit top 40. And then you got a hit record. You're right. Damn, you got a hit record in what, 2010, if that's true. 50 still had a more recent hit in 2012. So he's got more of a recent hit than you. And he's got way more, obviously. That's not even a debate on who had more hit records and stuff like that. Now, lyrically, he said something about Lloyd Banks was carrying G-Unit lyrically and all this stuff. Like 50 had lyrical records, but 50's focus was on making great songs. If 50 really dedicated to lyrics like that and he wanted to be a bar-for-bar hard MC, he's proven it that he can do that. Just go listen to Power of the Dollar. There's a lot of verses on Get Rich or Die Trying which are fucking insane. There's a lot of on every album he has like a song where he spits that shit. But, people overlook it and it is what it is. That's all an opinion, right? Of what you like bar for bar, what you think is dope. That's all opinion. Some people like Papoose's music and say, hey, I love all the bars he spits, and you got all the right to do that, man. I have no issue with you liking Papoose's music. But when you start to push lies and say the last hit 50 had was in 2005, I Googled it. Like, this is an old boomer. I Googled it. Like, no, bro, you did bad in your Googles. What did Fredro Starr say? Like, do your Googles, because your Googles were not accurate. But that's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think. And, any interview that Papoose is doing, please do some pushback, people, because he's just going to get away with this narrative of things that just don't make no damn sense.